I thought that was a...
Cameraman.
We have a camera now. We're fancy.
And a new microphone.
And a new microphone.
Hopefully,
his and hers.
hopefully this works, and hopefully everybody can hear me and hear Chef. Things are like, we're like the Jeffersons, moving on up.
Figuring this out. That was a good show. that was even in Istanbul, I watched that show.
You did?
Yeah.
You got a lot of American TV growing up?
Turkish dub. It was gross, but it was still there. Except Bruce Willis. The guy who did Bruce Willis did a kick-out show, and the Alf.
Alf, the alien?
Yeah.
I loved that show when I was a kid. That's so funny. So happy Thursday. Welcome to our kitchen. I'm Angie. This is Chef Deniz. How are you, Chef?
I'm excellent. I'm having quite a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
It started with a road rage at 7 a.m. this morning. I haven't told you the story yet. I was waiting for the light.
You were saving it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what happens is I drop my little Louis off, my puppy, to the walker. And I'm just driving, stop at the stop sign, and I'm going to take a right turn. And as I'm doing the turn, there is this car coming from, 3/4 of a block. And she started honking right over there. She was going about like 70 to 80 kilometers an hour. And, since I saw her coming like that, I stopped right in the middle of the way just to slow her down. Because you are going to slow down, because one of those people killed my puppy last night. You will slow down in a residential area.
Dude, you drive a Mini. You could have been a speed bump.
No. She was driving a Mazda. Now, I was prepped for it. Most people wouldn't take that chance. But she lost her marbles.
Really?
I rolled my window. She just pulls to my side, and she is like this little pissed off chipmunk in her cockpit. She's like 5'2", like just bouncing in there. I shouldn't do those things. Giving me the signs of dislike and this and that, and I just stopped and stared at her. After 10 seconds, she just realized that she was just being looked at. She took off. So that's a great trick. If you're ever in a road rage, kill your emotions, don't blink, make eye contact, and stare into their soul.
They can smell the fear.
It's not that. It just spooks them. Because so this is what they expect. Ba, 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 and then you go ba, 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 and you have your exchange, you decharge, you go. But if you just de-stress that moment, they usually just spook off on what's wrong with you.
They think you're the crazy one? Yeah, well.
So that was my morning. I came here, cooked 10 pounds of bacon, made bacon jam, which was a great start to my day, which is in the fridges now, so you should come and grab a pack tomorrow. Then I mistakenly drank 250 mils of distilled vinegar in one gulp. So I was dizzy in the morning. So I'm having quite a day.
Man. So you were on like some sort of cleanse today when you were pounding the vinegar back?
No, it was just, I drink out of deli cups. These are called the deli cups. And I measured my vinegar for the recipe, and I put it here. I was just wondering, I'm dehydrated. I should take a gulp. And I take a big gulps because I hate drinking water. And I took a nice big gulp, and I just like put it down. It wasn't pleasant.
So that was a different kind of road rage when you were guzzling vinegar by accident?
You get dizzy about that. How have you been? So that was my day.
Yeah, my day was less interesting than yours, that's for sure. I'm still cleaning up paperwork from January's and purging my office.
Oh, yeah.
I'm purging at home. So David and I have this thing where we have to purge things every single day for the rest of January. So it is good, but I mean, we're going to get to the end of January, and I'm going to start purging important things just so I can keep purging.
Let's just get rid of David. It's fine. Let him go.
Yeah. So we're getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff at home. So every day I come to work with a new bin in my car.
That's very Pinterest of yours. That is.
And I say to my staff and everybody here, I'm like, do you want any of this crap? Because if you don't want it, I'm donating it.
Of course, the Turkish guy just grabs most of it.
Everybody's taken some stuff. So I'm glad it finds a new home. I feel like it's, I'm just liberating the things from my office.
You should own this, though. Own this. The North America hoards a lot.
Yeah.
It is. We own a lot of unnecessary. I learned that lesson in Rivers Lodge in Rivers Inlet, Port Hardy. I lived out of a small suitcase, and it was some of the best 4 months of my life. I didn't have anything else. It was just liberating. It was great. So We should stop excessive purchase.
I've stopped buying things. I haven't bought anything really since COVID.
I didn't.
I haven't been, I mean, I'm not a big shopper anyhow, but when COVID started, I just stopped consuming things like that. And yesterday the sun was out. And guess what I did? I went for a ride on my new bike.
Oh, amazing.
I know. David bought me an e-bike for Christmas. And so we
That's
went
not a bike, right? That's just a bike just driving you around. That's like a little...
It's like a station wagon of bikes. So we went for a long bike ride yesterday, the Fort to Fort Trail from the beginning at...
That's the whole point. You have to put the fork in. That's a bike ride.
It was amazing. Anyhow, on Saturday when you're here, if you're coming back out Saturday, there's a really cool off-leash dog park. You should take Louie at Derby Reach in North Langley by the river.
Sure. I usually go to Uplands. Uplands is pretty good.
So anyhow, I was riding my new bike yesterday, and you can make fun of me all you want, but it was nice being out on my bike. Oh, you have plenty of time to make fun of me.
I don't.
Just like everyone else who works here.
I don't think about any of you, just so you know, except that girl this morning. It is time to go on a date. So just get on Tinder, and yeah, just you're bouncing too much.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, enough of our shenanigans. People are here to learn how to cook, Dee.
Sure.
So we got a lot of really great feedback on our class last week. What did we make?
Curry.
Oh, yeah, butter
curry.
chicken.
Yeah.
It was such a good recipe.
And there was a lot of attendees, too.
There was.
And I received some feedback afterwards, some questions, which I do reply. Not particularly take a joy in it, but, you know, it's a part of the job.
But I answered a few questions, too, yeah. And people were, you know, I feel like they learned a lot. And these classes are a pay-as-you-go or pay-what-you-can kind of class. It's free to attend, obviously, but if you'd like to pay some money because you feel like you got value out of the class, you're certainly welcome to do that. And last week, 2 people contacted me on Thursday night after I left here and said, I really enjoyed that class. I'd like to pay for it. So they went on the website and paid to participate in the class. So that was super cool.
We're going to change the name. Hey, you got a quarter? Because there's a bunch of you. A quarter would make a difference.
I'll have a telethon for Chef Deniz. Oh, man.
Everything for sale.
That's right.
Everything's included.
Want to buy a watch? Your Turkish is showing.
Sketchy pickles.
Oh gosh.
Anyway,
so tonight we are learning about Spanakopita or Spanakopita, or how do you say it?
I don't want to get into the whole Greek debate. This is one of the items that we eat almost not every morning, but this is a novelty item that most breakfast places offer. We have phyllo dough houses that actually ladies, it's mostly ladies, I've never seen a dude doing it. Make phyllo dough and they just layer them on top of each other. You will literally find a big pile covered with slightly damp clean towel on top of it, and you just go order and whatnot. So it is a very common thing to eat in my culture. It's mostly a breakfast item that you would go and you know, just and there are places that particularly only does this. This is all they do. They got 4 flavors, black tea, and that's pretty much it. And so I grew up on this a lot. Obviously, it's great if you can make your phyllo dough, but judging you know, people by how they cook, it's quite a challenge for them.
Have you made phyllo dough?
Oh yeah.
It's so crazy. I had never seen anybody make phyllo dough, and I've certainly never made my own. But I have a friend whose mom made it, and she literally put 2 huge dining room tables together in our house, and she rolled it out with a broom handle. Like the broom handle had no broom on it.
You need consistent hand pressure. You need knowledge of dough, because if your dough is not good enough, you ain't stretching to there. There are 2 ways of stretching it. Either you layer them with the cornstarch in between, and then you just have a go at it. And then for actually this application, you would use a marble countertop and use oil and stickage to stretch it out.
Oh.
So rather than rolling it out. So you just make it soft dough. If you remember the naan, how I just you know, press with my hand and it just goes down. So another trick, you're using soft wheat flour, not cake flour, but soft wheat flour that rotates around 8% protein.
Like a 00?
If it's 00, it's better because you want a really creamy texture. But that is like wrong. Wrong. It's not wrong. It's very difficult to achieve. It takes a lot of practice, patience, and knowledge. It can get quite frustrating, but we have a great alternative because this stuff freezes exceptionally well. It is not as good.
But it's also $3.
But it's also $3 for this kind of convenience. I always have puff pastry and filo pastry in my freezer.
Yeah.
It makes the greatest canapes, like, and you literally, whatever you would like to get rid of from your fridge, you can whip up a topping, just as this could be vegan spicy potato with olive oil. So it can be with meat. Like we have a whole section of, we call it börek in Turkish. We have a whole section of börek, from rice and eggplant to beef and currants to whatever, leek and, what do we cook with leek? Anyway, leek and feta and whatnot. So we have a large variety, but this is equally as good. There are some little tricks to use, how to use this. We're going to talk about that tonight. Tonight I'm just going to make a little kale version of it. I think it's hearty, it's delicious. But first I'm going to assemble the pie, put it in the oven. Then I'm going to show you how to cook the filling, because that's how these shows work.
And the filling needs to cool a bit before you roll it.
Exactly,
right?
and I will need that 15, 17 minutes, whatever it is, depending the strength of your oven, to cook it. But my friends over here will receive a fresh pie, and I'm going to show you it's actually no work at all if you're planned ahead of time a little bit.
And this can be made now and frozen and baked off later.
Absolutely.
So you can do lots with this, and it's a great way, like Chef said, to use up leftovers. Traditionally, when you've had it probably in a restaurant, a Greek restaurant here locally, it's made with feta cheese and spinach.
And not a very good quality feta cheese too. That's how we grate feta cheese in Turkey. One for the pie, that is not very good, so you can flavor it and make it more flavorsome. And then one for the table. That kind of product, you just eat the cheese.
Yeah, it's like using good cheddar or using real Parmigiano Reggiano, right? You want to grate it on at the end and maybe use the Parmesan
You don't cook
ends.
with those.
Right,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. They're not to cook with too much.
Yeah.
Not too much.
So then you're also going to do a couple salads too.
Well, I have to do salads because it's a nice. Now this is breakfast item, but it could easily be a light lunch. Salad and a little piece of pie. It'll feel like $1 million in the afternoon. It could easily be a nice vegetarian dinner. Put a little boiled egg on top, or a little fried egg on top. That for extra protein sustenance and whatnot. But it can act in all ways. And the best part is, once you cook it and leave it at cool temperature, it will stay crispy the whole day.
Yeah.
Even if it's cooked. Angie is right. If it's not cooked, assemble it, put it in a flat sheet, and then pop it in the freezer. Once they're individually frozen, put in a Ziploc bag. All you need to do is from the freezer into the oven, and you got food.
Yeah.
Which is a great
So
luxury.
easy. Yeah. And I've never had it for breakfast. It's a dinner thing here in my family. I would make them, and I also make like a sort of a samosa filling for them and bake them in the oven. Yeah, potatoes, peas, or cauliflower and potato. Lots of spicy curry, all that. I love it. I love it.
But it can be personalized very easy, and whatever you like actually is.
So are you making handheld, like a small version, individual, or are you making a pie?
Use that word.
Are you making little ones or a whole pie?
Today I'm going to show you how to make little ones, and from little ones how to assemble a large one. Now originally, give me a second. So I assembled these pots, and that's the easiest way to do it. But at home, we don't have half a hotel pans because a single sheet of filo fits this perfectly. So you use everything and utilize everything without any trimmage. And I can have a nice little beautiful square slice. But since you don't have it at home, I'm going to assemble it in a frying pan that can go into the oven. So it's a little, I've never done it before. But
and then you'll slice it like a pie so people will get a wedge.
I didn't think about that part yet.
So I'm assuming he'll
but
slice
what
it
I'm
like
going
a
to
pie.
do is I'm going to serve it like Turkish style. We're just going to put it on a big plate. Then I'm going to have a plate of little tapenade, spicy tomato tapenade, and a little bit of little spicy radish salad. So you're just doing a little bit of crunch, back and forth, acid, and all that.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's talk about wine.
Yeah, so tonight we are having, I This is actually left over in our pantry from the summertime. This is called Liber. It is from the Okanagan. This is their Hello Sunshine. Oh, we're offline?
Through your phone, any connections to the internet that we have here that's not necessary for them.
Back on. You might have just been tapped out, man.
Were we buffering? I think we were buffering.
Yeah, no, it's saying that talking about internet connection, but you're on up.
Okay, hopefully we're back. We were having internet issues. So anyhow, this is called Liber. It's from the South Okanagan. It's really nice. It's going to be delicious with the kale pie. It'll be great with the creamy feta. So anyhow, it's a really good.
What's not to like about it? Cheap and
cheerful, BC
delicious,
white.
local, cold glass of wine.
Okay, so as usual, if you have questions during the class, just type them into the comment bar. I'll forward them to Chef.
And if I answer them, if I feel like it,
he'll answer them. So feel free to type them, and I'm sure you'll have plenty of things to say while he's cooking. So, so hopefully we're back online and we've stopped buffering, and David's giving us a thumbs up. So, all right,
let's cook. Big gulp, big gulp. It beats the vinegar that I had this morning. I think David could use a glass of wine.
I think so too.
All right, so Philo, let me show you how easy this is to assemble the pie. Then I'm going to run you through how to make the filling really, really great or appropriately. Because this is one of those things, if you don't do everything right, it'll still be wonderful, but you're not going to hit that level. And you should. Think about filo pastry. It comes packed like this because as soon as you open it up, the dehydration process will start. So I'm urging you to just like work very fast and make sure all of your components are ready. My filling is ready, and time starts ticking now. So it's important to be able to grab a hold of a little fresher.
So that filo's best at room temperature, Chef?
It's best at room temperature, but it's a little bit of draw of luck. Sometimes, just because this is quite a commercial product, it can be in that box for a while. So sometimes it dehydrates over time in the freezers and this and that. But today we have a nice soft silky. What you're looking for is a nice silky silky filo. I'm going to grab one sheet. And when I do these singular ones, I usually like to double up because it's such a nice and it's gentle and a dainty pastry that that needs a little bit of structure. Okay. Now to this, I've melted some butter here. Clarified butter will yield into better results. Just so you know, butter fat also cuts contact with the air, so it is it's extra good, and it also acts as a really, really crisping agent in the oven once it is once it's been cooking. So I'm going to turn it sideways, and I'm going to grab my filling, which is nice and soft. Now you don't want it wet. We're going to talk about the filling and its consistency, but you want it nice and soft and spreadable, and you don't absolutely not want too much, because if you have too much moisture in there, it will collapse your pastry and it will eat really, really weird and unpleasant. Remember, originally this is how the girls show their skills on dough making, so you just need a little dot of condiment in there just to flavor the pastry. Okay, now I'm going to grab this, make it a little round, and then I'm going to roll it. And as I'm rolling it, I'm going to brush it with butter. So most of my layers have the butter. One roll, one brush, another roll, maybe let's do two because there is enough, and then a brush.
That's quite the butter brushing flair, Chef.
I've been drinking for the last hour, that's why. So I have some fluidity in the kitchen. No, I'm kidding. I wasn't drinking. Yeah, I've done this test many, many times. Not this particular shape. And once you have this nice log, now you can take this and put it in your baking sheet and have a bunch of logs of it and bake it like that. Or you can use the traditional. It's not traditional actually. It's just a shape. And then have this little personal one that can easily go in the oven, in the freezer, and then frozen, ready to be used later. But I am going to show you how to build up a little snake in your pan. Now I'm going to grab another filler. And then another second one. If I can separate them. But sometimes they just get stuck. Again, when you're dealing with dough, gravity, light hands. Light hands are your best best friend in the kitchen. Don't be like that girl in the Mazda from this morning. Uptight and weird. Yeah, swipe left all of a sudden, immediately. All right, so this is my second one.
So I've been doing it wrong for like the last several years of my life.
Why? What have you been doing?
I do like the most complicated layering situation with my dough. It's so annoying. I'm never doing it again.
What would tell me the complicated situation?
So I butter each layer fully, and then I put another layer on top, and then I cut it into pieces, and then I make like you're folding a little flag. So I have triangles of pie.
Well, maybe you can, yours tastes better. I don't know. Well, let's just taste this one. Maybe I am doing it wrong.
I feel like I've just wasted 10 years of my life folding little flags of phyllo.
It's okay though. Like when you do that kind, sometimes cooks get ambitious. It's fine.
But my dad really loved it, so that's all that matters.
So exactly. A little splatter. And now, when you're doing this rolling, I'm just going to go to the end of my roll, and I'm going to start it from there, and I'm going to have another wrap around. Should we do one more?
Do it.
Yeah, let's do this. Here's your pan. How about this? Simple? Okay. Now, Angie, I will ask for a little favor.
Sure, Chef.
I hate wasting food. So I'm just going to give this to you. So if you can just get this wrapped up.
Wrap it up.
I'll give you the wrap.
Thank you.
Never waste food, please.
And phyllo dough can be refrozen.
Oh, yes,
so
absolutely.
You can pop it back in the freezer. It's not like other food that once you have it thawed, you have to use it all. You can refreeze phyllo.
Yeah. So.
Do you want this in the freezer, Chef, or in the fridge?
Freezer, please. You know what we're having for lunch?
I know. I was just going to say I see a staff meal in my
Why
future.
don't we just top the fish pie maybe with phyllo dough?
Maybe.
Like that, what's that pigeon pie from Morocco? Bastia.
Bastia.
Or something like that.
I love Bastia.
Huh?
I made it for David once. He keeps asking me to make it again. I haven't made it in years.
I was doing a serving job at the time, little known of me, and this lady was just sitting down, and she was very cheap too. She just kept on asking me questions about, because I have an accent, right? And,
what?
Right? It's only been 20 tender years. So anyway, so she said, yeah, I've been to Turkey. You guys eat a lot of pigeons. So I'm like, I literally never had pigeon once in my life until I started cooking school. No.
Chef, I'm getting a lot of support on our comments from my flag folding phyllo. Everyone's saying that's the only way they've ever seen it done. Your way is new to them. So everybody's learning something new tonight.
So the whole Langley flag folds, flag fold being like the triangular shape, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very common shape too.
But it's like folding a little flag. But this is much faster.
That's very American of yours.
American? Well, Canadians have flags.
Yeah. Do they fold it the same way though? It's always in a movie and a funeral when they fold.
I think it's a military fold.
Yeah, it is a military fold. Yeah. It's just this is another way of doing it. So again, to my little snack, I'm going to start adding on.
Chef Doug has asked if you, I think it was Doug, sorry, asked what brand of phyllo you prefer. Do you have a preference?
No, I do not, because they are all very generically same. They are all same. what you really want is a fresh phyllo dough, not a and there is no way of gauging it, so it's a little bit of, go to a Mediterranean store where there's a lot of traffic. Krinos is great.
Krinos is the brand we've always had success with here.
And then once this is done, here's a little kitchen trick. You can use the other one, but I have extra virgin olive oil. This covers up all the surface area. Make sure, especially if you're freezing this, just do this so that the whole thing is covered in fat and there is no hot sauce. Nobody does it.
A spray on hot sauce?
Yeah, it's just it's a great. Anyway, this goes in the oven, and this can go to the side. So we've tackled the pie part of it. Now, cooking the filling. There are a few things that you need to do right when you cook the filling. Now, let's just grab our butter and add to our pan. And I'm going to crank this up just to show you the stages of it. So we can get rid of this. And my pan is heating up. Now, the recipe calls for white onion, but I had half a red onion. And I'm cooking for a smaller batch, so I'm just going to use that up. Leeks, a little bit of time. If you have fresh, it's great. If you don't, dry is just fine. And then I have a little garlic clove in there as well. My black kale has been washed. Please wash your greens, especially hardy greens such as, it's an old Emerald joke, the spinach comes washed, but who is that guy in a basement just hosing spinach down? I mean, so always wash your greens, please, always. And also just makes it crisper, like the cold water.
The kale holds a lot of dirt. I think people are surprised when they wash it.
Especially black kale.
Yeah, it holds a lot.
Yeah. Also, whenever you just wash your kale, fill up a tub or something, soak your kale or your chard or whatever you're using, and then do not toggle it, or like do not just dump it out, but just lift it up. Same with leeks, so that the dirt sinks to the bottom and the greens stay clean. Now all my aromatics goes in my pan.
I mean, you can use a salad spinner too. That works great.
Absolutely, if you can afford one, if you have one. But you know what? People are very anal about it, but I don't mind a little bit of moisture on my salad greens. I mean.
Yeah, but then the greens lift up from the dirt is what I mean.
Exactly.
The spinner, yeah.
Also, now it might dilute your creamy vinaigrette a little bit, but you got to figure that part out. Either dry them really well, drain them really well, or come to well seasoned and grab a salad spinner and whirl like a dervish. So the onions are in here, thyme is in here, a pinch of salt just to extract some moisture out of my onions. Hopefully this pie bakes in time. We should put a timer in, okay? I'll set a timer for 17 minutes. I know it's also there. And for the next 17 minutes, we'll have some entertainment, I'm assuming.
Oh.
Let me have a drink. The pie is in the oven.
Oh, too bad the phyllo's back in the freezer. I could have shown you my mad skills on flag folding.
Hey, man, get your own show. So,
sorry, Chef, what's the oven temp at?
Oven temperature is at 400 is a great place to be, obviously depending in your oven. Now, my oven encapsulates a little bit too much moisture. It's very well sealed. So I tend to just go like 5 to 10% more. But if you're fortunate enough to have a great convection oven, 375 to 400 is perfect temperature. And if you're not really sure of any baking recipe, anywhere between 350 to 400 is a great bet. It is a great bet. For the gas ovens, that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. Get a thermostat.
I got to figure out how to make this in my air fryer.
What's up with you people in the air fryers? What is an air fryer?
I'll bring it to work. You can check it out. It's basically a convection oven that cooks at a really high temperature, blows lots of wind, and sort of fries things in their own fat. So it's really good I've only used it really for chicken wings, but It's
But people lost their thing on, what was that? The other one, the pressure cooker?
Oh, the Instapot.
Instapot was a thing. There's always a product that passes by.
Yeah, everybody loves a good kitchen gadget.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
I think people are always looking for ways to sort of try new things or make things a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it. And also, I understand, just like once my dentist told me, he goes, "Here, you have to floss every day." I'm like, "No, I don't." He goes, like, "Yeah, you have to." I'm like, "It's important because you're a dentist." I'm like, I'm fine. My teeth is fine, and I've never flossed ever once in my life. So to me, it is important because I take joy in cooking, and it's my love language to just show people that I appreciate them and whatnot. But if you're practical about food, yeah, absolutely. The gadgets are good. Now let me show you my onions. My onions are frying nicely, and you have that lightest drippage of that butter, meaning that it's got a nice, it's not water, it's not wet. I had a slight drippage of butter. So, which is a good sign. At this rate, my onions are nice and soft and flavorsome, being salty. I'm just going to get my black kale in. Okay, and I'm going to toss it around, and I'm going to put the tiniest pinch of salt again so that everything is well seasoned.
Right.
Bam. I can't say that, eh? So jealous of Emerald's Bam still. All right, so now at this rate, what I'm looking for is my kale to be covered lightly in the cooking fat that's been flavored with onions, leeks, garlic, thyme, so that it is all over my kale and it's nicely frying it. Let's check out pie. All right, I might get lucky on this one.
How long is that going to take, Chef?
As long as it takes.
All right.
It's about, well, depends. If you have a really commercial oven, it takes about 17 minutes. And I'm talking about a $30,000 oven. After that, it might be anywhere to 20 to 25 minutes. 20 minutes is a good mark and a good place to be. But keep an eye on whatever is in your oven. Now, you can hear my kale crackling a little bit.
There's still quite a lot of moisture in the kale, and same as spinach if you're using
Exactly.
that.
And the rhythm I'm holding is a faster rhythm than I would do at home, meaning that as soon as that crackling is, as soon as that moisture leaves, it hits the bottom of my pan and it instantly evaporates, just like you would drop a little drop of water into hot oil. But this is just hot surface. Same idea, different. Again, I always can't stress enough that there is a rhythm to cooking, and it's very, very important. The greatest cooks I've ever met or worked with has that ability naturally. It's like singing a great song. Now, as you can see, nothing not delicious is going to come from this. At this point, now we can introduce some sweetness, such as maple syrup, some acid. But my favorite, you know what my favorite to cook with is?
What?
Chateau Faucet. Let's go grab some water.
Oh, fancy.
I just put about 250 mils of water in there. And I'm going to have a nice go at this. What I'm looking for is I want to break my kale down. I also, sorry, I forgot to tell you, I massaged 30 pounds of kale today so you can have a delicious salad.
So you got your road rage out on the kale.
I am all good to go now. Like, just, so what I'm saying is you take your kale, you cut it into nice little thin strips or whatever your preferred choices, shape or thickness is, and then you just grab it with your hands and rub it in between your hands, or just do a little massage on your board just like this, just to break the fiber down a little bit. What that does is we are serving kale as a salad tomorrow.
Right.
The raw kale, which I truly do like. So it's nice and it has that nice and wilted quality, so it can just have a low shoulder, so when you lift it up, it'll hold on to that dressing that it's in. Just like this. So this is as you're lifting it up is.
That's his salad dance, David.
I dance for a salad. Or when you're doing this application and when you're in the juice, meaning you're in the weeds, meaning that you're short of time, and company's coming, Betty Crocker. That's what it was, right?
Yeah.
Company's coming. That was a book.
That was a whole bunch of books.
Is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, so when you're in the juice, if you just break the fiber down of the kale, it will cook about twice as fast. That's a pro tip.
A pro trip. Oh, chef.
Oh, white wine makes me say things. Anyway, so what we're looking at when we're cooking this is that drippage to stop, the kale to be nice and tender, and then it becomes nice and tight without any drippage. Because if you have excess moisture, you know what's going to happen?
It's going to make your pastry soggy.
Exactly, because once things heat up, they will push the moisture out, outwards. And guess who's there to catch that moisture? Is your very dainty and flaky pastry. But this one is very, very tender and thin, so it'll just go soggy, especially if you don't have a really strong oven. Now you got moisture in the pan. Now you're boiling the pastry. Things are going to fall apart. I'm just going to sit there and write me an email. Hey, I followed your recipe. Your recipe is wrong. I have bad news for you. I'm not going to get into that. So again, cook the moisture as much as you can. I taught this cooking method to a lot of cooks, and they're professional cooks. And I don't think there's only one that did okay. The rest of them didn't get it too much. So it's very important. But to secure your victory, I have provided you with the proper recipe that I use a coagulant at the end. Now what you need to do is, after this is nicely cooked and wilted and it's ready and there is no drippage, which I'm going to switch to the salads and I'm going to show you the final product. What I do is I take this, I spread it thin, and I put it in the fridge and something flat so it cools down faster. Once it's nice and cold and has that almost like a tapenade spreadable consistency, then I take my goat's cheese, feta cheese, or whatever your cheese you're using, and I blitz it in the food processor, and I put 1 egg in there. And the reason for that is when you apply the heat, once the moisture starts going out, and at those temperatures, eggs coagulate. What it does is it gives you a nice and a creamy product in the middle that is going to hold on to its moisture.
But the egg is kind of like your Hail Mary. So if you didn't get enough of the moisture out of the kale, the egg will pull it all together.
Again, still make it creamy.
Yeah.
That being said, if you cook with anywhere over 160, 70 Fahrenheit, you wouldn't think pastries require doneness, right? Got a lot to go.
Yeah.
Then egg will curdle and it will eat grainy. Delicious, slightly grainy, and I'll be sitting there eating your Spanakopita, and I'll say that.
Yeah, Chef D would not be happy. He's very judgmental.
I am.
He's very judgmental.
I earn my judgments, though.
That's why I don't make staff lunch. I can't handle the pressure.
Nobody makes bad comments about it. I might be doing an okay
About
job.
your staff lunch?
Yeah.
What do you think happens when you leave at the end of the day?
I take the rest of the leftovers home and get fat at home.
We all critique your staff lunch every day.
I don't care. I live my life. People can talk about it. It doesn't bother me. Anyway, so now what we're looking at, see that drippage? Stop. That's nice and tight. Now, if I was at home and, scusa, and if I was cooking this, the kale is a little bit too crunchy for my taste for this application, okay? And what I would do would be add another 500 mils of water and just cook it until it's a nice, luscious lump. That being said, this part of the recipe, now, you chop some anchovies in here and put a can of tomatoes, and you simmer it until it's pulp. It is one of the best lamb garnishes that you'll ever see. Or on its own, kale gratin with a fresh slice of sourdough if you're vegan. Incredible. So this is what we're looking for, if not cooked a little bit more. Sounds good? Wonderful.
Sounds good.
So that goes to the side. Now our pie is a baking. I'll pull another burning. Oh, she's got rid of it.
Wow. I hope that the guys from Legends gave you that hat, Chef, because it's very spiffy. It's very spiffy. It's like fancy. Like you're looking good in your Legends hat.
Thank you. I don't know if you're just like, what is it? That's like making your way.
No, I like it.
Yeah, it is. It is a nice hat. Legends swag became a thing during the COVID, so you guys should just do an episode too. Now, one of my favorite things to eat are radishes. I think we need to eat more daikon.
Yeah, I think daikon is a vegetable that I think people don't know what to do with it, honestly.
Well, it's awkward. I mean, it's just like this giant thing that, you know. But this was with this top. It was this tall. This was $3. I mean, there is. I love breakfast radishes. Don't get me wrong. They're delicious. But that guy is.
But they're also not super prevalent. Like you have to look for them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in outside of downtown, you have to just go to a store to find a particular store. But
every Asian supermarket would have it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and this has this incredible radish flavor. Some people cook with it. I don't like cooked radish. It's not my thing. But please go buy a daikon and just make nice crunchy coleslaw salad. Actually, we should put that in the next week's in the coleslaw.
In the dinner?
In the next week's week with them.
I think daikon is more sort of buttery to me than a regular radish. A regular radish to me has like the little red radishes. They have more of a peppery finish. Daikon is almost creamier tasting.
Yes and no. It depends on obviously the breakfast radish that you're getting. But it is one of the best bangs for your buck to have if you like crunchy salads or add texture to your sandwiches, like the banh mi sandwiches and this and that. Yeah. It's incredible in sandwiches.
Yeah, it makes great pickles too.
Yeah, if you can stand the smell though.
No, like a quick pickle with the daikon.
Yeah. This is what we're doing right now. So I'm just going to get my daikon and there's a mandolin. Pay attention to your hand when you use a mandolin. No, deep and dive into thoughts or aggression like that girl in the Mazda this morning. Hope you found someone by now. You didn't think I'm going to leave her alone, did you?
No, obviously. No.
So these are done. I have my chopped serrano and my breakfast radishes in here. These goes in here too. I'm going to take a nice pinch of salt. I know it looks a lot, but it's just the lights. If you need a specific measure for this, you can weigh your bowl, and 2% of your bowl will be your salt. If you're using kosher salt, diamond crystal in particular. To this, I am going to add 1 clove of garlic zested. See how fast that is. Okay.
Barb is asking about breakfast radishes. They're the regular radishes we're all used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, or they call them the French radishes. Some come in like a longer variety. Some come in, I'm sure they have a Latin name for it, but I don't know. My lime juice, lime zest, and maple syrup. That wasn't a question. Maple syrup.
For a non-Canadian guy, you sure use a lot of maple syrup.
It is the best. It is the best form of sugar, though.
It is delicious.
Honestly, it is. It's vegan, so nobody gets upset. I try not to dig into white sugar too much. I don't know what it is about it. Same with the either table salt, your regular table salt. I don't know what it is about it that it spooks me. I don't, I'd rather use something of a liquid sugar, not glucose, but liquid sugar rather than that. Anyway, I'm going to leave this to marinate. And here, this is not on the recipe, but I had some cherry tomatoes here, chopped cilantro, and this is one of my favorite things to cook with, are preserved lemons. I come down to well seasoned, grab a jar. They are incredible. They They add this pop of strength or acid and excitement to your salads. Have some enthusiasm when you make your salads. Also with my cilantro stems are highly edible, not highly, completely edible, and they actually have the crunch and a stronger flavor than the leaf itself. So please do not toss away your cilantro leaves. And if you're getting, sorry about that.
You mean your cilantro stems?
Stems. What did I say?
Leaves.
Yeah, leaves and stems. So stems have more flavor than leaves with the extra added crunch. And if you get the cilantro roots, you're shopping in the right place and you're my type of person. We might go for a beer. So that's that. Now that was my timer for 17 minutes.
Barb is asking, what was that? Sorry, Barb. What? Oh.
That was a timer. Let's keep things hot and rolling. Any questions?
No, everybody's just waiting with bated breath for this Spanakopita to come out of the oven. Oh, Barb's asking, what was that? Lemon, she's asking? Did you put lemon in there, Chef? Not yet.
The lemon is right here, Barb. It hasn't gone in. No, I put 2 lime juices. Juice or 2 limes. Depends how juicy your limes are. Or 1. And obviously, if you want to gauge your seasoning.
It was the zest of the lime and some maple syrup also.
Exactly. Needs another pinch of salt. My God. I can eat this on its own. I love vegetables.
I know you do.
I don't eat enough of them, but they're so much fun to cook with.
Let me tell you, I have never enjoyed vegetables more than when you've made them for me.
Thank you.
Honestly, specifically raw vegetables. And I don't mean made them because you haven't done anything to them other than dressed them. But I've really enjoyed
It's such a nice texture. It's excitement. But you have to season them right, though. Like, it has to be salty or sweet or spicy or acidic. Like, it has to have that. Otherwise, it'll still be delicious. And also creating back and forth texture with the cooking. That's one of the things that I learned in with a particular chef that I worked with. That cross texture play. It's not really set down and composed on a piece of paper, but whatever is the best. Hey, man, this all eats mushy. I need some crunch, but a sensible crunch, not just any crunch. Just not for the sake of putting a crunch in. And then, yeah, you take daikon and you just put some, nice seasoning on it. While I'm eating my rich coq au vin or stew or whatever I'm eating, hey, let me take a glass of wine and have a slice of daikon. Let's just stop for a second, go for a cigarette, or just have a little chit-chat about that girl. And that's good. She's clicked it. All right, so our pie is baked. I'm going to turn my oven off.
I think that's one of the mistakes, or not mistakes, but I think that's one of the missing links that a lot of home cooks have is they don't finish their dishes with like a raw herb, and they don't get that really fresh, sort of acidic, astringent kind of flavor from garnishing. They think that garnish of a fresh herb is just in restaurants.
And also it is just for fancy applications.
But it's not.
It just is not. It's not. But also I wasn't taught that, and I wasn't cooking like that. Somebody actually had a huge career on this thing, said that, hey, try this. Oh, well, that's pretty good. I was like, why don't you try this? Well, that's pretty good too. Then you start playing. I was fortunate enough to work with incredibly talented cooks. I'm not going to name anybody, but thanks, man. I'm still paying my bills with it.
But I think for me, I add fresh herbs. I garnish with fresh herbs almost every meal.
Yeah.
And it makes such a difference.
Absolutely.
And even if you have the same bunch of parsley or bunch of cilantro in a glass of water, I keep mine in a glass of water in the refrigerator, and it'll last several days. And I just pull a little bit off and add it to my meal. It makes such a big difference.
It dilutes it, though, keeping things in water. Also with your radishes, never keep them in water, especially professional cooks. Like, seriously, just get a life. You can just have a mandolin and just does at the end, and it will give you the final result. Now, we got a little crunchy salad. We got a creamy, crispy pastry. Now what we need is a little tapenade, something also spicy and nice. This is one of my favorite things to eat. This is kind of like a little breakfast spread that we use in Turkey. I'm not going to tell you a story about it. This is blitzed up sun-dried tomatoes, which are incredible and packed with flavor. Packed in oil, though I didn't hydrate them. Sun-dried tomatoes, they're available everywhere. Do you remember the sun-dried tomato craze in salads?
Yes.
In early
I'm glad
2000s?
it's dead. I'm glad
Yeah,
it's
I'm like,
dead.
Its price went up like a commodity.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But this is a harissa paste blitzed with sun-dried tomatoes. Now, if you want to do a justice to this, you can put some coriander seeds in there. Sky is the limit. Now, to this, since it's a tapenade, we're going to put 3 whole cloves of garlic. Now, if you're bothered by garlic,
Eat somewhere else.
no, I was going to say you're dead to me, but that's a little bit a better way of putting it. No, if you're bothered with garlic, don't put it. But I mean, or you can roast your garlic and put it. But I don't think anything can replace raw garlic. And if your date is complaining, mouse the girl, stitch him, get another one.
Whoa, chef, easy.
What? Mouse the girl? I
Oh, Mazda girl, sorry. Yep, Mazda girl's out.
I don't know. We have split opinions in the room now.
No split of opinion. We're good.
Now, this tapenade is right here now. To this, I am going to add fenugreek leaves. Now, fenugreek seeds are awkward, and I never was able to extract any decent flavor out of them. Maybe it's my incompetence. But fenugreek leaves, which is called, which you can find this in Wild Season or Iranian stores, it's called kasur mehdi, and they are potent and delicious. The only thing you don't want to do is eat this if you're on a date, because this stuff will come out of your skin the next day. Well,
They're very strong.
It is very strong, but it's so delicious that, I'd rather sleep with my dog. So
This is why you're single, chef.
which is being a couple. Is this being a couple achievement? Is that what it is?
An achievement? No,
Yeah.
you have Louis. I guess you're good.
Yeah. I mean,
Louis
I'm
doesn't
okay.
care if you smell like fenugreek.
Yeah, you should smell Louis. That's the
Fenugreek,
smell.
fenugreek seeds don't eat very well.
Also, yeah,
They
but,
don't break down properly.
but I tried so hard, like to have an understanding of spice. I relate to things like one by one, just to break him down and understand them, so I can incorporate it in there. Just not because recipe calls for it. All right, what do I do with the fenugreek seeds? I'm going to grind it, toast it, and this and that. Never add up to anything. Long story short, my walnuts go in there. You can have it as coarse or as fine as you want. Now, I'm going to spare some for a little bit of garnish. This is a nice little crunch, and it's also is an incredible. This is a very, very typical meze in Istanbul restaurants too. I'm not making any of this stuff up. I grew up in it, and I'm milking it.
So this tapenade would be really nice. Just a little smear on some
On
good
fresh
baguette.
sourdough?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And it's vegan. That's the best part of it.
Well, it's part of it.
It is a part.
thing.
Okay, it's not the best part.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Uh,
It's a thing now. So now I'm going to serve this like a meze, like in a small plate. So you will have to just grab it. Now, Turkish cooks are not very good with the presentation. So I'll show you the pattern. Just grab your spatula, made it somewhat round, and then you do this.
That's very technical, chef.
I know.
What is that move called?
I wonder what if they
I
had.
think it's called
what
the spatula jab.
What they ever had pate and croûte or something. They're like, how? What? What's going on? Little lemon juice just to freshen and bring the whole thing to life, which got in my eye. Okay. And a little bit of pomegranate molasses. Do yourself a favor. Go buy a bottle of pomegranate molasses.
We sell it here. It's like
Yeah.
$5.
Yeah.
It is like such an amazing condiment to have in your pantry.
It is strongly seasoned. And show those Italian boys how it's done.
So, Chef, you're getting quite a few questions or comments, I guess, about preserved lemons. Can you, I just took one of the jars off the shelf, and can you just talk about how they're preserved and how they're used? And Just people are
So,
asking about what they are.
You have to have the right lemon, and this is my little mezza of fenugreek and tomato tapenade. So what happens, you take these lemons, you quarter them. They have to be good lemons with a slightly firmer flesh, but you know, it's my problem. I like making my own preserved lemons, but my problem is I am reliant on Californian lemons.
So right now is the peak, January, mid-January, is the peak of citrus season in California. So the lemons are at their best right now.
I don't know what that means, but I'm still bound by my vegetable supplier that I cannot go and pick the lemons. So when you pickle, if you're a serious pickler like myself, you want really exceptional produce to preserve, and it's exceptional time. But just because of the season doesn't mean that Yam Brothers is going to give me some of the tip-top lemons. So,
well, it sort of does, because that's all they're going to get right now is really good quality lemons. So
even if it's a local product, or like if it was to be, you know.
Dude, there's no local lemons.
I know. I was just about to make a example analogy, but I'm running out of time. What I'm trying to say is, even if our local products, some is exceptional and some is okay, and I don't know, you know, what's going to come. Anyway, long story short, what you do is you take a lemon. If it's from California, what you do is, first things first, you blanch them in hot water to wash the wax off for about like 30 seconds. Then you pull it out. You put a little cross on each end, and then you put a big layer of salt. You put your lemon down. You pick a big layer of salt, or you can cut them too. I don't like doing it. And then eventually salt starts to extract moisture, this somewhat slimy liquid of lemon pulp coming out, decomposing lemon pulp coming out with the lemon juice itself. That's what salt does. It extracts moisture, replaces itself with seasoning. And then once it gets to this stage, and then you just pack them in jars. If you're just like doing one by one, you have to can them so that they're stable. And that's how usually preserved lemons are made.
But they keep in the refrigerator for a long time, like a pickle would.
They are indestructible.
Yeah.
They are one of the strongest pickles to keep. Because
of the pH in the lemon, right? It's so acidic.
Exactly. It just literally just preserves itself. Anywhere below 4.4 is a great place to be. Now comes my salad of daikon and preserved lemons and cilantro and you know what? Oh. And then I'm just going to take this little marinade. I'm going to dress this.
Chef, Deborah's asking, do you use the whole lemon or just the rind of the lemon?
Whole lemon.
The whole lemon.
I like eating the whole lemon, but some people just cut the rind out. But if I'm waiting on this lemon pickle for about like 2 months or a month or whatever, how long it takes, I'm going to eat the whole thing. Even with when you squeeze lemons and make lemon juice, let's say for commercial use with our squeezers and this and that, I always save the pulp. You're frying fish, fry your fish, take your fish out to rest, dollop of lemon pulp, big knob of butter. You'll have yourself a free sauce.
I think
it's edible. It's delicious.
When you buy the preserved lemons in a store, they always come the whole lemon or the quartered or, you know, whatever lemon. They always are the pulp and the peel together. And you use the whole thing.
Yeah. And in about half an hour, we have a little dinner for you. Kale pie. You can put another layer on top, you know, just make it perfectly round and this and that. Kale pie with goat cheese and dill. Spicy tomato tapenade with walnuts and fenugreek. And a little daikon salad with preserved lemons, cilantro, chilies, and lime.
So if you were at a Greek restaurant and you ordered this, you would typically get your Spanakopita with like a tzatziki or some sort of yogurt sauce. Is this how you serve it in Turkey, or would you serve it with a yogurt sauce?
The yogurt sauce is very North American. And I don't want to get into the Greek food debate with this application. It is a common sense. You're making a creamy filled crispy pie. you don't serve something creamy with it. You serve something red with it. Then you serve a little bit of crunchy, so spicy with it. So, but we have all these notions of premeditated moves in the kitchen, such as toasting bread and putting mayo on it. I'm like, fresh bread doesn't need toasting. You toast bread because you have a toaster. So you have to put a little bit of thought of composition of food and how it's put on the plate. So just because all the Greek restaurants are doing it, which some of them are not Greek, obviously, that you don't have to do that move. Just think about it.
But that's what we're used to here. That's how it's served to us here. Always is with some sort of tzatziki or something like that.
North America love dips and sauce.
Yeah, you could serve it with some ranch dressing.
Hey, I'll show you the bottle.
Stop it.
But if you know when to stop cooking, which is a great wisdom in cooking, that you really never need sauce.
Can you cut that the pie open, Chef, and show what it looks like with the cooked filling inside?
Sure, we could do that. Well, get a nice little pastry knife, serrated pastry knife will do the best. Don't get a bread knife, and unless you have insane sharpening skills, don't use a regular knife. How
did you know when that was done? Just the color of the pastry?
I've done it a million times.
But how would somebody else know it was done? Just the color?
Color in the pastry, and I'll show you a little trick.
Because the bottom is also nice and golden brown.
But that's because our filling was right, our method was right, was right. What you can do, just to do this, is go on your pastry, take a sip of wine while the knife just does the work. And the best way to gauge temperature is this part of your body. So if this is about 160 Fahrenheit on your lip, which, and then it's done. But or like nice and warm. Now what I'm looking at is a nice little filling that doesn't leak out. Nice crispy bottom.
Yeah.
Nice coloring. And
you didn't oil the pan. You just sprayed the top of it.
Yeah, you do it on the pastry. Yeah,
there was no oil in the bottom of the pan.
Let me make you a plate. You have a plate?
No, but I'd like to just see what the inside of this looks like.
Why?
Because I want to see how...
it's like making a pate and coude and somebody comes in and slices slice-wise. I'm like, let me see it this way.
But you can see in there the consistency of the filling. And I think that's kind of important because the filling isn't dry. It's not saucy or liquidy.
And it's nice and creamy.
And you can't really see the pieces of egg. And I think when people think there's egg in something, that they think it's going to be tight like an omelet. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's not that. I really wanted to just talk about like how the filling sets up in the pastry because it's not necessarily what people expect.
Again, this is about 4 or 5 ingredients done right.
Yeah.
But let's make a little plate so you can taste each and every single component. And one for Monsieur David too. Now this touched my face. I will need another knife. Hopefully with a little bit of serration. And then you can serve it the way you want it. Honestly, I usually just leave people to just grab.
And it's really good served at room temperature. This doesn't have to be served like piping hot. It's a really good, like Chef said, lunch. I've never had it for breakfast, but it makes total sense that
it's like pizza.
Yeah.
Even cold, it's okay.
I'm not a lover of cold pizza, but
nobody's ever a lover of cold pizza. If you're eating cold pizza, you have some booze problem.
You're hungover?
Yeah. if you're not bothered to
I don't know.
But I mean this is an incredible, nice, like delicious dinner. Yeah. I'm hoping it's delicious.
Me too. I'm excited for this.
Let me move out of your way. Yep. There's you. And this is for sure, David.
So this is the first time I've had this with kale.
Is that what it is? Does it have kale? All right.
Kale, eat it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry, I didn't get it.
Yeah. I've never had it with kale. I've only ever had it made it myself with spinach. The kale's nice for sure.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the kale's really good.
It is a nice hearty green.
But you know what? To be honest, I think if people didn't know there was kale in there, I think they would think it was spinach because it's still nice, and kale sometimes can be really tough if it's not cooked down properly. But because this has been cooked down, it doesn't have that, you know, that sort of stringiness you sometimes get.
Absolutely. You
from
have
kale.
to break her down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Mm. Yeah, the fenugreek in the tapenade is very strong. But it's so acidic. The fenugreek, it adds this sort of, I don't know, herbaceous, lemony kind of note that you don't get from other herbs.
I'm happy with this, actually.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
And I don't eat my food, nor eat flaky food in public. Oh, I look so ugly now. No. What is your problem?
What?
No, I'm just saying. When people see me eating croissant.
This salad's so good. Okay. If you haven't used a daikon, go buy one this weekend.
Yeah.
It's so good. It doesn't have that same, like, peppery bite that you get from a regular radish. It's so much milder.
It tastes tapenade. I'm happy with this.
Look at this guy go.
I haven't eaten all that.
That's good. I'm glad you like it. It's delicious. So, what did we learn today? We learned that I've been doing phyllo wrong for my entire life.
It's not wrong.
I've been doing it, I've been wasting a lot of time with phyllo my entire life. So this whole rolling of the tube and turning it into a circle, that's
It's a
new
way
to
of
me.
doing it.
Yeah, I love it. It's brilliant. Shelley, I know you're on board too because this was Shelley's first experience with this, the snake style version of this.
Our show?
Shelley Somerville, who's watching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shelley's a really great home cook, and Shelley used to work here at Well Seasoned until she retired. And so we're missing Shelley, but she's still cooking
I
at
am
home.
jealous of you, Shelley.
Because
One
she's
day.
retired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, all I ever wanted to be was old. Old and out of the way. But I dreamt about it.
You are old.
I was born, yeah. That was
So I think we learned about this. We learned about the daikon radish. I've known about daikon for a long time, but I think it's going to be new to some of you in this format, and it's really good. The other thing that we talked about tonight that I think a lot of people didn't really know about was preserved lemons, and that's an amazing staple to have in your pantry. You can buy them at Well Seasoned. You can spend a fortune on them. They're like $30 for the super fancy version, or like $5 or $6 for just the regular generic version. And the $5 or $6 version is just fine.
Or you can be really cheap and go to a really cheap Asian superstore and buy Thai preserved limes. It is as good, like $3.50 a giant jar.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Or make your own. Or make your own.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
have a lemon tree.
Yeah, lemons are inexpensive right now, so now's a good time, like I said earlier, to go ahead and make your own. You can make a couple jars of them, can them, or just make one jar and stick it in the fridge. It's a really great investment of your time. So you have them for the next, couple of months.
What are we doing next week?
I don't know. What should we do next week?
Well, leave it in the comment section.
Yeah. So why don't you take a second to think about what you would like to learn here. We are going to continue with these Thursday night Facebook Live classes. And if you would like to participate, they're, like I said earlier, they're a pay-what-you-can class. If you'd like to pay some money to participate, we would really appreciate that. We'd love it. And if you just want to hang out and drink wine and eat food and cook with us, we're happy to have that too. So, let us know what you'd like to learn. We had a lot of requests for pie. People want to learn how to make pie dough. And pie dough is not something I make personally.
I do.
Yeah, do you?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do a pie class.
Sure.
Like traditional
Well, the
pie?
problem with the pie, like we can do a hands-on class. The problem with the pie,
is you're gonna.
I guess we can work around it because it needs to cool down at least like 3 hours. But yeah, let's do it. Yeah, sure.
But you're gonna have to crimp the edges. Are you down with that?
I don't care. I made that on myself in public before.
We had an incident here at Christmas.
Sorry, we did not.
Okay, we won't talk about that now. I'll tell you later. Anyhow, so if there's something you'd really like to learn, or maybe there's an ingredient that you'd like to learn more about, let us know, and we can maybe focus a class around a specific ingredient or a
Absolutely.
specific style of cooking. A lot of what Chef has done in his classes go back to his sort of Turkish roots and speak to some of the Mediterranean type restaurants that he's worked in. But he's got mad skills. He can teach lots of different things. So if you have specific things you'd like to learn, let us know, and we'll try and incorporate those into some of our classes.
All right.
You done? You ready to road rage your way home tonight?
I'm going to go get that girl in the Mazda.
No, you're not.
I'll take her out. Sure. why
No,
not?
you're not. He drives a Mini. He's going to drive it like he stole it all the way home.
She's 5 foot. What do you care?
Dude, she's slightly taller than you. Is that
My
what you
dog.
mean?
I like tall girls.
Oh, Chef. I love
Once
you.
you're horizontal, it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
stop it. Stop it.
Stop going
You've been
there.
eating Fenugreek. You're not going anywhere horizontally. Just you and Louie. That's all.
Yeah, and a mouthwash.
Oh, gosh. Anyhow, tomorrow night is our gourmet to-go dinner, and we're doing a really traditional lasagna tomorrow night with our kale salad. There are 3 orders left. So if you're interested in having Chef Deniz and Chef Melissa cook you, or Chef Sarah and Chef Melissa,
There's too many
everybody's
chefs in the
involved.
kitchen.
Tomorrow night or Saturday night, you can pop onto our website and order your dinner. There's literally 3 meals left.
Do it now.
Yeah, do it now. So, yeah, we'll be back here next Thursday.
And, thanks for your support. Thanks for showing up. It means the world to us.
Yeah, it does.
And please let us know what you would like to see in the comment section. And then we will see you next week.
Next Thursday, 5:30, right here, Facebook Live. Cheers, everybody. And thanks to Liber for, I still have some, but see you next Thursday. Cheers. I'll get you a refill.